Hello there, my mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be looking at a job lot of vacuum cleaners. These are all very fancy Shark ones. They look pretty impressive. So there's 3 of them in total, so it should be interesting to find out what's wrong with them and if any of them can be fixed. So I'm not an expert in vacuum cleaner repairs, but I do like tinkering with stuff, so hopefully by the end we'll have at least one working vacuum cleaner out of these 3. I'm going to unpack them now and let's see what the faults are. I am going to have my work cut out with these, that's for sure. Now this one basically just had a little nick in the wire, so you can see that it should have a molded plug like this. This one here also has a little plastic bit missing to cover the fuse, so that's not safe, but you can see it's a molded plug. This one just had a little nick in the wire. I'll show you a little bit of footage just before I cut to the mat now, and it looks like maybe a rat or a mouse or something had chewed through it, and that's the reason it wasn't working. But now when I plug it in, it works, but I can't turn it on and off, and basically nothing's happening up here. There's no lights or anything going on. So yeah, that's still not working. And when it comes to these other 2, they are completely dead. So when I plug them in, it doesn't matter what I do, no lights come up on these you know, the handle bits at all. They're both completely dead. And as well as that, annoyingly, this has been damaged in transit. Maybe I need to look back at the listing. It might have been listed with that. I don't believe it was, because I don't think I would have bought it. What's happened is a heavy item's just been placed in a cardboard box with little to no protection. And of course, something has been dropped on top of it, or even just the item box itself has been dropped. That's taken the weight off it, and you can see now we have impact damage around there on the bin. So even if I do get it working, it's going to need a new bin, which is unfortunate. So I think I'm going to really struggle on these ones. If I can get 1 out of 3, I think I'll be doing really, really well. So let's start maybe on this one here, because at least this one is intact, and find out why it's got no power. And then bit by bit, hopefully we can swap ones about and see if we can get something working. And then once I have one working one, I'll find the other ones easier to fault find, because then I'll understand how they work, and also I know I've got a complete one to compare against. So let's get started right now. I just want to show you a quick bit of footage where this here was eaten through. Just about fits on the blue mat. First things first, let's check to see if it is a fuse problem.
Butterfingers.
There's a 13 amp fuse in it. Look at that. There's a big chunk taken out of it there. You've got to be so careful. I plugged this in by hand. Didn't even see that. That's the second wire. The reason it's not getting any power is because look, that there is the that's the second wire. It's completely, the poor gerbil or rabbit or whatever it was. My, they must have got one hell of a bang. Well, I presume it's a little animal of some sort, because it definitely looks like it's had a nibble rather than just flexed in that one spot and broke. So there's nothing interesting happening here. I just need to put a new plug on it. It does give me a chance to use my new little crimping tool. I haven't had a chance to use this yet, but you will see it in use in future videos down the line. So now I will have to park this one for the time being, but I need to come back to it because every time I plug it in, it just works. But this one didn't come with a handle or a hose or a head attachment, yet the other 2 vacuum cleaners did. So maybe when I put the handle onto it, it will behave differently, and you might be able to control it all via the handle. So let's start working on another vacuum cleaner that is at least complete, and then I can understand it more. So let's pick up the video. We're about to start working on one of the other ones. And you can see here they are well worth fixing. I appreciate this is when they're brand new, but look, Shark here, $329.99, that's this model. And if you were to go down to Amazon, but you can see that the price, well, on this one anyway, with the car detail kit, is £305. So they're not cheap. They're not cheap items. Now, just to make it slightly nicer to work on, I'm just going to vacuum clean the vacuum cleaner. Right, first things first, let's check the fuse. It's exposed for us, so I need to remember to put a cover on that when I'm done, if it can be fixed. Let's go to continuity. Fuse is okay. Clearly the fuse would have been checked anyway. Right, okay, let's start taking this thing apart. So this is the bin here. Lots of rattling. Is there anything in here? Oh my word. Okay, I'm going to throw all that in the bin. Right, so the filters are nice and clean anyway. Good. So what we have to do is we have to get inside this so we can measure from these prongs at the end of the plug right the way into the machine to see if we have continuity. So we have various different Torx bits around the place, and also we have to prise off these two things here because we have another. Well, actually we don't. We just have to prise off. Get these out. So if we go in here and do that, and go in here and do that, then what we can do is we can spin, and you can see we have access now to the screw in there. But the problem is you need a really long Torx bit, and I haven't got a really long Torx bit, so I'm just going to be using this here to kind of jam in it, and it will hopefully undo. Because they're security bits, the flat headed bit will actually get in between the point of the security bit and the star of the security bit, so I can feel that that's undoing now. And these look like they're Torx 20. And you need a Phillips bit for the screw at the back. That. And we've got two smaller screws here, which are Torx 10. So we need a Phillips, a Torx 10 and a Torx 20 to get into these. So maybe if there was a problem with the electrical connection here, it could be to do with these wires. Right, you are, we are in. We are in. Now, that's where the screw just came out from somewhere. Where would that belong to, I wonder? Oh, look, from here, this has already been apart. Let's see, let's have a look. See if that is, okay, that's not looking hopeful. Yeah, look, that should go in here. Right, okay. Well, we might as well undo both of them now. See, there's a Shark and Ninja, so they're the same company. So we have the plug here, and it looks like it goes up to here and here. So we should see if we have continuity. So let's get our meter set to continuity, and where does it come up here now? So maybe we haven't got an earth, maybe. I can't see an earth wire. Right, let's go on to live. So live should be brown. Interesting. There's nothing there. Right, neutral. Neutral's there. Live is not. Why not? Why not? Let's have a look. Now, is this going to come out without springing out in my face? Okay, got to be careful here because there's going to be a lot of tension under that there. So that's plugged into here. So let's see now if we have a connection between here and the actual, this white bit in here. Well, first of all, let's connect here to here. Wow. Oh, no, we got it there. Right, okay, but yet we haven't got it from there to here. We got that one to here. Okay. I didn't think it was going to be a lead problem. So let's put this down, let's undo it all, because maybe we'll see a break in the wire. Right, so I'm just going to undo the whole thing. Can't feel any brake yet, can't see any brake. And then we've got like a safe amount to put it out to. So you can see this is where we should stop because it's gone yellow, but let's go all the way. And now we've gone red, so this means I've kind of pulled it too far. So I wonder, has it gone just where it meets in there? I mean, I can't see. And I can't see or feel, I'm feeling with my fingers. I can't feel any nick. And this is all the original lead. Right, let's just make sure it's going from here to here in case there's a plug issue, and then we don't have to worry about getting involved in here. So, does it go here? Yes. So it's definitely not like a plug issue itself. Right, I'm going to have to dismantle this so I can get to the end of this wire. So right now it's under a huge amount of tension, isn't it? I've got to be really careful here. So when we press that in, it goes. Okay, that's how it goes, that's how it works. So this puts a brake on it. Yeah, okay. Right, let's try to undo these. There we go. There's a little bit that you push in just here. There's a little tab you push in and that releases them. There we go. Right, I've got to be so careful with these coil springs because they're really dangerous when they're under tension. So it's going to be either under tension here or under tension there. So neither of them are good. But we need to find out what's happened. So let's unravel this. There we go. Right, so now, just in case it's a bad connection in here, again continuity. Here, nothing. Now, where have you gone? Let's take this lead out completely. I'm just going to take a picture so I know what wire goes where. Now, just while I'm taking the pictures, let's have a word from the sponsor of this video, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop solution for all things PCB fabrication and assembly. From rapid prototyping to full-scale production, PCBWay delivers top quality products. So whether you're a seasoned engineer or a hobbyist just starting out, PCBWay's user-friendly interface makes ordering your own custom PCBs very easy. But PCBWay don't just make circuit boards. Do you want your aluminium brushed? Well, PCBWay can do that for you. Do you want some laser cutting? Well, they have CNC laser cutting machines as well as CNC milling machines as well. And if you want your part painted, guess what? They also have options to paint it. Here we have a nice example of some high gloss paint. So they really are your one-stop shop for all things PCB related. Massive thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring the My Mate Vince channel. I don't know where this has gone, maybe it's gone just here. In fact, what we'll do, let's wiggle it because it might give us an idea. So on here. In fact, let me go here. That's just making no difference there. Can't really wiggle it very well there. Okay. So with a bit of struggling, I take the lead out. It's quite tightly in there because it's got a heat shrink on it. And then when I take it out, I give the wires a real good tug because often they fail where they meet like the strain relief or where they do the flexing, but I give them real good pulls and they're not breaking whatsoever, so it gives me no option apart from cutting the plug off. And at least then I can get the multimeter out and I can test the lead from the white reel to the end of the cut, and I can test the plug itself, and that way then we've proved what the fault is. It's annoying because these plugs are moulded and they're lovely and safe, but what can you do? If it's failed, it's failed. I need to find out where it's failed. Well, I'm thinking it's not going to flex much here because it had the heat shrink on, and also I can't see why there would be a huge amount of strain on that bit there. I'm thinking that obviously you want as much distance as possible when you vacuum cleaner, and you can't be bothered to go back. I'm going to keep saying hoovering, so I'm just going to say hoover. I know it's not the correct term. I think it's gone here because you're not going to keep going back and unplugging it. You're going to put it to the limits of what it can do. So I'm going to cut the lead here. I'm going to say that this plug is the bit that's gone faulty. So here we go. I'm going to go here. And now let's see if we have continuity between here and here. I have to make a decision whether to do this or the other side. Please be this side. You beauty. Yes. So listen to the neutral, but listen to the live. I made the right choice for once. I made the right choice. Now, place your bets. We all know that it's going to have gone just here, don't we? So let's strip it back a little bit, give it a pull, and let's see if it has gone just where the wire meets the strain relief, which is always goes there. Let's give it a tug and see where it's going to break. There we go. Oh, no, it hasn't. Look at that. No, it hasn't. It's actually burnt. Is that burnt in here? How did it flex so high up? That's amazing. So yeah, so what's happened is it's this thing that's flexed and it's been pulling on the inside cables. Can you see where it's gone here? So yeah, it's been flexing here and it's been pulling on the inside cables. It hasn't burnt. When I initially seen it, I thought it burnt through. Okay, well, brilliant news, because I needed to do something with this anyway. So I'm going to take that out now, and what I'm going to do is, because I hate things like this, because then I worry where it may end up, and then if somebody was able to plug it in and there was a fuse there, they're going to get electrocuted. So just to make sure that doesn't happen, I am going to try to bend these. There we go. Okay, and now there's no way of anybody, where no matter where this ends up in the world, not that if it ends up anywhere other than the UK, it's not going to be a problem, is it? 'Cause I'm not going to be able to plug it in. But yeah, there we go. It can't cause any harm now. Right, let's fit a plug to it. I've just been wiring up the new plug here. Now, if you're into vacuum cleaner repairs, or you think you might be, you should check out Dorian from Hoover Lux Restorations. So Dorian does loads of vacuum cleaner repairs and also washing machines and stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, check him out. I'm sure you'll like him. I still stand by the fact that he's got the best intro on YouTube, and he's a thoroughly nice guy as well. He was part of the YouTube Fixers series. Right, there we go. So we have the 13 amp fuse in there now. Of course it doesn't look as nice as a moulded plug, but it's there. Do you know what I never really thought of? Hold on. That's a very big hole there, isn't it? You know, like a young child now could shove something up there. That is a huge... I've never really noticed that before. Bear with me. I just want to see some other plugs, just to see if they're normally made, well, you know, replacement plugs. They normally have a hole that big. I appreciate this lead is very small, but that now says to me, that feels dangerous to me. Well, I'll come back to this at the end of the video because I want to show you a couple of things. I actually spent a couple of days looking into this, and there is a product that I need to get to make all plugs like this completely safe. But I've spent a couple of days searching online, on and off, not full time, and I can't find anything that's really properly suitable. I have found something that does work, and I'll show you that to make it safer. Weirdly, I did a video on the No Waffling channel saying how to make or trying to make a 13 amp plug safer, and I think the first 6 comments came through and they were saying things like, it's a non-issue, you've made up this problem, there's no such problem. But I don't get that, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I do know that the UK plug is perhaps the safest plug in the world, but the sockets on the wall are shuttered, aren't they, to stop kids from shoving stuff in? Or it's not just kids, you know, you might not have the capacity, but yet you might like messing around with pins and screwdrivers and stuff. But I can look inside this plug and I can see the live terminal. Now if I can see the live terminal, it means then I can put a metal like eyeglass screwdriver in there, which is completely metal, and at the same time if I'm touching like a water pipe or something that's earthed, and there's plenty of things in the house that are earthed, well then I'm going to get a hell of a bang, aren't I?
unless obviously the installation is modern. But not every household has a modern installation. The electrics could be going back 50 years quite easily in many UK houses. So personally I think it is an issue, but then again I'm not an electrician, so you tell me if you think it is or isn't an issue, but that will be at the very end of the video. So we found a definite fault on this one. We put a new plug on it, so it's unlikely that it's going to have two faults. I don't want to turn it on with everything exposed because obviously it's mains voltage going into it. So I'm going to put it all back together and then we can give it a little test.
There we go. Right, let's see what this one does now when we plug it in and it doesn't have the this bit attached. Ooh. Oh, hold on, I don't think I'm plugged in down here. 1 minute. No, I am. It's got me slightly worried. I'm going to get the wand bit, the handheld bit, plug it in, and maybe it's all control from there. But why have you got an on and off switch here if it doesn't do anything? Well, it appears to be working, so check this out. It's kind of strange. You can turn it on from here. So right now if I press this, it will come on. Yeah? And look at that, lights and everything. What on earth? You can actually see what you're vacuuming. And then you can change speed here. Yeah? And I presume that's between carpet and hard floors. That must move something up or down at the front. And then you can turn it off here as well, and it all goes off. Now, when you turn it on here, the light comes on here, and when you turn it off here, the light goes off, which makes sense. But look, this is weird. It seems to work on every second click. So watch this. Nothing, and I pressed it hard. Then it will start working, and then nothing, but on the second click, stops working. Yeah, and if it's off there, you can still turn it on from here. And if it's on here, so 1 click, nothing, 2 clicks, it starts working, and you can turn it off here. But isn't that weird that it needs 2 clicks? Now, is that a mechanical thing? So let's work this out. Nothing, on. Nothing, off. But now let's do nothing, on. And now let's do, hold on, off. So then it's going to be nothing, and then it's going to be on again. So it's still 2 clicks. It must be a mechanical thing. And now if we turn that off here, it's still going to be 2 clicks. So it's always 2 clicks no matter what we do. Now that's 1 click. So if we do this on, it comes on. When we turn this off, it should be 1 click here to turn on. Which it is. It's a mechanical thing. So it needs 2 presses to do the on and off. Isn't that weird? Because now look, we know the next click's going to be on, yes? So now we're going to turn it on here, turn it off, and it will come on with just a 1 click. Okay, I'm starting to understand that. Why that's got 2 clicks like that, I haven't got a clue. Why? Well, I don't understand. Why is that not just 1 off and 1 on? Really, really weird. If you could put that in the comment section, that would be good. But it does appear to be working. Anyway, we'll do a test at the end. But yeah, it does. There was a couple of little crumbs around. Actually, I don't need to use that one. Right now, I can see there's a hair here, just here, and now it's gone. It's very smooth. Heavy though. It is heavy. Now, does it automatically detect? No, you've got to do it onto here, have you? Oh, yes. Oh, it's pulling lines. It is pulling lines. That feels nice. Very fancy. But that's good. Right, I am going to take now this lead onto that one that I fixed where the rat or whatever nibbled on it. And let's see if that's a 2-click business going on. No, so if I press this, all the buttons work again. If I put it on quiet. But listen, when I do this, it stops that there. It's not stopping this. So that's now off. This is off, but this isn't off. Oh, hold on. Oh, you can turn it on from here though. So when it's off, it's always on. And when it's on, 2 clicks, Well, that's interesting. So that comes on, off, goes off, but it's still vacuuming. Right, so that's on there. Let's see what happens if we turn it off here. Yeah, the light goes out there, but it's still vacuuming. How interesting is that?
Just to save any confusion, this first one that had the rabbit nibble on it is a different colour. It's not just a different colour, it's also a different model. I think this one is a 250 model and the other one's a 500, a lot more luxurious and expensive. So the handle and the hose and stuff that goes with the cheaper one could operate completely differently. I'm putting a 500 handle onto a 250 model. So I think that's the problem we've got here.
Let's move on to the next vacuum cleaner.
Right, this one is absolutely disgusting. I've already hoovered it out. You should have seen the amount of crud that was in here. It was 10 times worse than that. It's, I don't know what's going on. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like somebody's been hoovering out like a rabbit cage or something. It looks like urine stained straw. Doesn't smell though, but I'm trying not to smell at the same time. Do you know what I mean by that? You know, you can sometimes just hold your nose back, not breathe properly, and then you can't smell it. But anyway, it's plugged in and nothing is happening. So, first things first, fuse. This looks a bit water damaged or something. Looks a little bit chalky. Yeah, that doesn't look very clean. No, fuse is okay, but it is dirty. Like, for example, if I was to go here and here, can you see it's not working? I wonder, could that be it? Let's just give this a clean up. I'll tell you what, I've got my little grinding pen back. Now that my Rolls Royce is near enough, pretty much complete. Right, let's get the good condition 13 amp fuse. Now let's see, is it going to work? Well, actually, tell you what, let's no, let's just plug it in and see. Ready? No. One second now. See, this is a good thing about having a working one. It does not work unless you have this plugged in. So I just try the other one, which we know is working, and it doesn't work unless this is plugged in. So now let's turn it on here. Right, it's still not working. I wonder, does it need to have the bin on? Now let's see. No, it's still not turning on here. It's incredibly heavy. It's still not turning on, so it's still dead. Right, okay. Let's take it apart.
So I'll take it apart again, doing all the torque screws and the hidden screws underneath the wheels, just like last time.
Right, so let's do the same as last time, and this time we'll see if the lead's faulty or whether it's going to be something else. So continuity. We're on the live, so this should be here. No, it's not. Neutral. What on earth's going on? Live's gone again. What? Okay, live's gone again. Right, so we need to, let's gently pull this out here, and let's make sure it's okay between here and here. Which it is. So that says to me, let's unplug all the lead and see if we see, let's just not jump to conclusions that it's going to be the same problem. But if it is the same problem, that says to me that, think about again worldwide how many of these have gone maybe here. I'm just feeling with my fingers here as I pull it out, see if there's any nicks on it. No, I think that all appears to be okay. So I reckon it's going to be the plug. I think it's going to be in the same place again. So let's pop this down. Alright, so let's cut it here. And let's do the same as before. Live, here. No, neutral. Yes, what are the odds? What are the odds of that? Two complete different sellers. Wow. So, would it have broken in the same place again, which was just here, wasn't it? Just here. Let's see. Yes, the exact same place again. Look. What are the odds of that? So clearly there's a bit of a defect going on, isn't there? But why is it happening only on the live? Should we see if we can work out why it's happening only on the live? I wonder, do people at Shark or Ninja or whoever the parent company is actually do this? You know, do they find out, oh, well, look, hold on, the reason why is because this one goes across here and it's under too much strain, there's not enough slack or something. Let's cut this open and see if we can work out what, why it's failed. Whoa! It chopped into my hand there.
So I do chop into it. It takes me quite a while to get right the way in, but you know what? In my opinion, it is a design fault. It wouldn't really affect something like a lamp, because you see a lamp's not under a lot of strain. But people always pull the vacuum cleaner lead to the extreme. I see it here all the time. Look down the bottom of most households and you will see that if you've got little bits of skirting board and architrave and stuff that go around door frames, or even the bottom of the door frame, if it's painted white, you will often see black marks. That's from mostly vacuum cleaner cords where they're plugged into one room and then they're stretched around the place, because human nature is to be a little bit lazy, and instead of unplugging and plugging in each room, you think you can maybe do 2 rooms at once, or in the UK maybe even 3 or 4 rooms at once, depending on the size of the house. So I think that should be taken into consideration, and then the wires that go into the plugs should have some kind of strain relief little posts or something that they're wrapped around, so that all the strain isn't on one particular part. But check this out on the live, and then you can now tell on the inside why it's happening on the live but not the neutral.
Well, that's interesting. If you have a look here, the neutral, which hasn't broken on either of them, goes through the actual hole here. So from here it goes all the way up through into here, yeah? So if I was to, I won't be able to do it now, but if I was to feed that through into here, it will come up in the middle of that there. In fact, you can still see that there's, no, you can't. Yeah, you can still see there's one strand just hanging off in there. I tell you why it's going. I've worked it out. Have you worked it out? Think about it. This blue one, they're both coming up through here, and this blue one is working its way around and it's facing this way. So where's the strain going to be? The strain's going to be on this bit here. When it's getting tugged, it's going to be on this bit, yeah? And I suppose eventually it will break, but it's going to take a lot of time. Where's the strain on this brown one? The brown one's just going straight up, isn't it? Straight up here. So every time it flexes, there's no bend. It's just going to come straight down on the crimp here. So every time you flex that cable, it's coming down here. So what they need to do is, they need to maybe bend this, for example, how would they do this now? Really, I suppose they need to kind of, I'm not sure if there's going to be enough room there, but they kind of need to bend this round, even if it was to here, and then if it was crimped on that way, yeah? Then you see when it's tugged, it's all moulded in plastic, it's going to be tugging on this bit and there's a bit of strength. This is taking some of the strain. But when it's vertically up, the only thing taking the strain is the crimp. So 100% there will be more of these that break, and 100% it will be on the live, not the neutral. I found that really, really interesting. Let me know if you think I'm incorrect. I've convinced myself that that's the reason why these are failing on the live, because it's just straight up. There's no real strain relief on the actual internal wires themselves. Strain relief on the cable left and right, but every time you flex it there, it's pulling down on that crimp. So yeah, that crimp just there is where it keeps on failing. No point in taking apart the other one because we know it broke in the same place and it's going to be the same design on the inside. Right, I'm not going to film this, I'm just going to put another plug on the end and then we'll see if the wand, the handle type thing that came with the other one is working. Because maybe that's gone as well, maybe the seller's put 40 things together and dumped it onto eBay. Okay, and just to show you how sometimes eBay sellers can be, so you know this one here that was packaged badly, and you can see that it's cracked here. This was also the one with the faulty plug. Now the faulty plug is definitely just a natural fault. That's not anybody's fault. It's just like a bit of a design fault. But what are the odds of a device having two problems? So if it had a faulty plug, the chances are this would still work, yeah? But yet it doesn't. So the one that I got with this is this one here, which is in worse condition than this one. That's how I know it's the one that came with the broken one. And sure enough, it doesn't work. So it's all plugged in. When I turn it on and off here, it's not doing anything. Yet when I use the base one that we've just fixed with the other one that came with this one here, you can see it does work. So we fixed the base thing, but clearly the seller has junked two parts together. Which is just really, yeah, I mean, it's still spares and repair, but I personally think it's a low thing to do because you're under the impression when you buy something that it's got a natural fault. I had it ages ago with a Nintendo Switch Lite where the seller put a faulty motherboard and a cracked screen together. And I remember I said to them about it and they said, what, you bought it as, well, they didn't use that accent. I'm just thinking they used that accent. It could have been any accent because it was just a message. But basically they were like, what are you expecting? It's spares and repair. But what I'm not expecting is for somebody to put a load of junk together. But anyway, from my point of view, honestly, it actually doesn't matter. It makes the video more interesting. So now what we have to do is we have to fault find the actual wand itself. This hose part to find, I keep calling it a wand, I don't know what it's called. The hose part to find out why it's not working. So you can see it's not working on that one there. Now I'm going to bring that one over to here just to show you it's not working on this one. So I'll do it right now. So I'm just trying to do it one-handed. But this is the working one. So at least we can again get measurements from here as far as the wires are concerned. And let's bring this one over to here. Yeah, so when we turn it on here, nothing's happening. And if I turn it on and off, still nothing's happening. So let's fault find this wand part now. And it is the actual one part here. So we've now narrowed it down to this bit because I can just simply swap over the front bits. And when I've swapped over the front bits, fair play to these things, they do clip in lovely. So look at that, just like boom in. Now, we have nothing on here, but we have got something on here. And the lights are working. So the front section is actually working and I can hear that it's spinning as well. So what we have to fault find is from here to there. And we know it's not related to the wires in the actual vacuum cleaner because the same thing's happening on both of it. So I presume there's going to be a little circuit board in here which has gone faulty. But let's see if we can find out what's happening. Now clearly there is a possibility that they are genuine faults. This might well be the hose for that one there. I just think it's highly unlikely. I'm 99% sure that it's been junked together. But you can never be 100% sure. I've been caught out with that in the past where you're sure of something and you accuse someone only to look like a complete idiot. But as long as you apologise and just explain your reasoning, then most people can be alright with that. But I'm less likely to jump to conclusions now from being wrong in the past. Okay, I am going to just see if we have any ohms reading on anything. I'm just going to go on the outer two pins. That's in the meg ohms. That's struggling to get a reading. That's in the meg ohms. So compared to the working one, it's so much easier when you have a working one. Meg ohms, meg ohms, struggling to get a reading. Okay, well that's good. So now, how do I fault find this? We've clearly got three, there must be a cable buried in this as well, you know, and wires, because we've got three contacts here. I can't see any obvious signs of damage. I haven't checked for suction though. Oh, that should be on there, shouldn't it? That should be clipped onto here. I think this is where you put your spare tools. There we go. Hold on. Oh, it's cracked. It's broken here. Okay, so that's never gonna go on there well. Anyway, it's better than it was. So let's try to take this side apart. I can see a Torx bit here. I can see something probably up there, and it might unclip.
So we have various different Torx bits around the handle. Also, there's loads of annoying clips as well, so it's a bit of a mission to get into. I do take some photos along the way just to make sure I know how to put it all back together, and then I get distracted. Let me just show you this bit here where I've been distracted.
Who's seen the Northern Lights the other night in the UK? Can you believe that? Look at that picture there. It did not look like that with my eyes. The camera made it unbelievable, but with my eyes, what it looked like was dark sky, stars around. It looked like there was, like, if you could imagine, like a white sun with sun rays just coming out in lovely straight lines going around a quarter of the earth. You know, when you look up to the sky, it was taking up about a quarter of it. It looked amazing. But when you actually got your camera out, it was just unbelievable. I've got the other pictures. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? I've been wanting to see the Northern Lights for ages. And I've been to Lapland and Iceland and I didn't get to see them. So that's another one. Can't really make that one out very good. But it was lovely. There was a few greens in that one there.
Enough about the Northern Lights, even though for me I love stuff like that. Anything to do with big waves, volcanoes, Northern Lights, seeing a whale in its own environment, seeing things like dolphins in their own environment, not in some kind of like fenced off bit of the sea. Anything like that I love. What I'd love to see is I'd love to see a great white. Obviously from the safety of a very strong boat, but if I could see one of them, I mean, it would be unbelievable to go down in one of those shark cages. But I'm not sure as I get older. The younger, 100% I would have done that. Getting older now, I don't know. After having my finger nearly chopped off in that door, I could just imagine my arm. I'd be looking at one great white and my arm somehow or elbow would go out the other side of the cage and then another one would have a nibble or something. So I don't know now if I would do it as I get older. I think I'm getting to be more of a scaredy cat. But yeah, stuff like that I love. Anyway, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. The massive members this month are KipDigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJ VG. Also, I'd like to see Killer Whales as well. Pixie! Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Ricard Berglund, Soul Reaver 555, the My Mate Vince Fan Club, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, Stephen from the Broken Past on YouTube, and Rob Taylor. So massive thanks to each and every one of you.
I wonder if there's another hidden screw under this rubber somewhere. No, there's not. We're in. At long last, we are in. Right, you are. Okay. So we have a load of solder joints here and a load of clicky buttons and a couple more screws for the circuit board. Wow, there's loads of wires in it. So these two are smaller than all the other screws. We are in. Oh, look at that. And we have a little connector here. Oh, we've got a circuit board here. All capacitors and all sorts. Wow. Can we take this out? Yes, we can. Again, Torx 10. So there must be a brain somewhere on this board, surely, because we've only got 3 wires feeding it, and yet we've got all this here. Yeah, circuit board behind it here. And these are the 2 wires, and the white wire must go straight down into all this. So we should at least be able to get continuity. on these wire nuts. So let's check, because it might not be anything to do with this at all. So let's go, it's a bit awkward. Let's go from these to the wire nuts, yeah? Because we've got 3 of them. So meter on continuity again. And let's start on this one here. Is it brown? Yes. Is it yellow? No. Is it white? No. So that outer one is brown, this one here. Let's now do the middle. No brown. Yellow. Middle's yellow. Not white. So this one must be white. So the middle is yellow. And let's go over to that one there. That must be white. Yeah. So it's not that. It's not the actual wire itself. It's going to be something. Something on the board, unfortunately. Oh. Right, now. So that goes up onto here. Well, let's zoom in and see if we can see anything. Sharp Ninja, there you go. Just having a quick visual inspection.
Stop shouting at the screen. I know some of you have seen it already. For the rest of you, can you spot the issue before I do? Tick tock, times are running out.
I wonder what sort of voltage this is going to be. And I wonder, could it just be a problem with this top board here? Maybe it's not, you know, it's unlikely that there's nothing up here, is there? Oh, unless it's the, do you know what? Unless it could be as simple as the power switch, the on and off switch. Suction, on and off. Let's see, it could be a switch problem. I can't get onto it with the gloves and stuff. Hold on. That's better. Oh, freedom. Wow. Let's try this diagonal. Well, it works that diagonal. Not that diagonal. Which diagonal is being used? That's together? That's together. Oh, it is working. Oh, it's working. Well, I don't know. I thought I was on it. I mustn't have been on it properly. Okay, that's working. That's working. And that's working. Caps look fine. Let's see what voltage the caps are. 16 volts. This should be safe to, oh no, look at that, 450 volt. I was going to say it should be safe to work on. 450 volts, what's going on there? 450 volts. Whoa. Luckily I didn't plug it in. Oh, there we go.
Bingo! Did you spot it?
Ah, what a shame. That chip's gone there. There we go. So the microcontroller, the brain of it, is not working. And you know what? It doesn't look like there's any water damage or anything on the board. This is like a conformal coating. So it looks like the chip just blew itself up. I wonder, should we take apart the other one to find out what chip that is?
The answer to that question is yes, yes we should. So it is an OB22222M. Let me just show you the little data sheet for that, and then I need to order some of them up from AliExpress, and then we'll pick up the video once they've arrived.
Right, so I have found the spec sheet for it, and basically it's a high performance, high precision and low cost pulse width modulation power switch for non-isolated buck and buck boost application. So I think it takes AC in and pushes out 5 volts. So universal AC input range and 5 volt output voltage.
And if you have a look here, so it's low power, AC DC offline switch mode power supply for small home appliance linear regulator. So I suppose it doesn't need it doesn't need to be beefy, does it? There's not going to be much amps coming through this because it's only actually turning the vacuum cleaner on and off. But if you have a look here, it says CB voltage is 700 volts. So that must be the AC coming in. So all these look like they're linked to each other. I don't see where B is. I don't quite know what B means. But anyway, and the VDD voltage is 0.3 to 20 volts, but it's set up top about 5 volts. So maybe this is running off 5 volts. I'm wondering if I should put in 5 volts from my power supply safely. You know, if we were to go from ground and VDD, I wonder would it come to life? Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to buy a new chip if, for example, something's caused this chip to fail. Because remember, looks like we've got AC going straight into it then. Hence the reason we had such beefy caps on there. Well, not beefy, but the high voltage caps. Okay, there is huge sections of this video that needs to be cut out because I was on it for so long. Remember, it's a Joblot video which lends itself to easier fixes. And remember, the seller probably, not definitely, but probably put two faulty items together. So really, I'm fault finding something that maybe other people find hard to fix. It's clearly not a broken wire. Now, what I've done is I've taken the chip off the good working one and put it on here, and it still didn't work. So it's not just the chip that's failed. Clearly the chip has failed. You can see the corner of it's blown off, but there must be another component that blew the chip, or the chip took out another component. So what I'm going to do in this next part of the video is I'm going to inject 5 volts. I've actually removed the chip from the circuit, so the AC is no longer going through either the working or the faulty chip because the chip's off the circuit, and I'm putting in 5 volts where the relay part of it is. And that way then, as far as I can see, what the chip's doing is it's allowing the AC into it to put it down to a lower voltage to do things like switching the relay and probably power the microcontroller and stuff like the brains so you can do the button presses. Please don't copy what you see in my videos here. There is 230, 240 volts AC coming in to this board, and it looks like I've got my hands all over it. I haven't actually, I'm just holding the edges off it and I'm touching the low voltage parts. But please don't copy me because A, I could be wrong, and secondly, I've looked at this board for quite a long time off camera and I feel confident doing what I'm doing. It still doesn't mean that my fingers are not near the higher voltage stuff which could electrocute me. So do not copy what you see in this video. Loads of things have been edited out to try and make it watchable because I was on this for hours upon hours. So anyway, with my bench power supply, I'm putting in 5 volts where the relay is. And check this out, you can actually hear the relay working. And look what happens when I put in 5 volts from the power supply. Right, it's about 45 minutes later and it's gone wrong. I swapped over the relays and it didn't work. And I thought, oh, because I kind of convinced myself it was going to be the relay because I've been trying to follow the circuit round. And then I thought, that's annoying. So I thought, right, okay. I put the chip back into the working one and now the working one's not working. So right now I've got 2 that are not working. I've broken the working one. I think what I've done is I think I fried the chip because I keep on heating it up and swapping it over. I suppose it can only take so much and maybe it's a bit delicate and yeah, right now it's not working. So what I'm going to have to do is I think I'm going to have to buy some chips. There's actually only one person on eBay selling them from what I can see, so I've just bought 1. I wanted to buy 2. But I am going to buy 10 from AliExpress, so unfortunately this is going to take quite a while before I can even work on it again. But this is interesting. I've got my bench power supply here. I have got it plugged in at the moment, so I've got to be super careful that I don't hit the wrong thing. But watch this. If I manually put 5 volts in, because these relays are like 5 volt relays, if I manually put 5 volts into this side here, you can hear it clicks. Oh, hold on, watch this. Clicks, and watch. This is the faulty one, by the way. Turn it on, can you see it comes to life? And you can do the different speeds. So we definitely know that this circuit here is okay, and a lot of this circuit, you know, I can't touch it. The one on the right hand side is okay. See? But for whatever reason, the 5 volts is not getting up to these 2 bits here. Right now it's because I've got the chip disconnected, but even when I had the chip on, it's not working. So this is what I think. I think the relay's gone, and I think the chip has gone. So I'm going to buy some relays, buy some chips, and then we'll see. You never know, we might be able to get both of them working rather than just one. So I will see you probably in about a month's time, but for you it's going to be a few seconds. Another voiceover, just trying to get some sense into this video to make it slightly easier for you to follow along, because there's just so much footage. Anyway, I'm comparing things between the 2 different boards, and I think in this next bit now I might have found something. So this is only maybe an hour later rather than being a month later. So let me just show you this bit first before I do the ordering up of the chips and the relay. Right, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I'm trying to take off some of this because we don't know what's hiding underneath it. And I used some hot air and it started to bubble up, and then I was starting to peel it back from here, and I seen that there was a fair bit of burning. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not yellow anymore, it's kind of brown. And I thought, okay, well that's probably just me because I've just used a hot air on it. But it was very brown around this little resistor down here, and I don't think I'm getting a reading from it. Again, it's hard to know because of conformal coating, but I thought I'd start filming straight away. So basically it is this little resistor just here. And if I zoom right in, you can see it does look a little bit dark. I mean, there's loads of scrape marks on it now. This could all be me. But if you have a look, can you see the board does look dark down there? But that could have been me with the hot air. But can you see R9 is what we're looking at. So let's zoom out and we'll try to get a reading. Oh no, there's 1.8. See, that's what confused me, because if you see a resistor measuring 1.8 k ohms, so 1,800 ohms, you're going to think, yeah, sounds about right. But actually on the working board, that resistor measures 2 ohms. It's a 2 ohm resistor, and now it's measuring 1,800 ohms. So I think what's happened is it's heated itself up with all that gunk on top of it, and it's not doing its intended job in the circuit. Weirdly, I've got about 60, I think, pieces of footage, and I can't seem to find the footage where I measured the 2 ohm resistor on the working board. You're just going to have to take my word for that. I'm not sure if I've definitely downloaded everything that I recorded. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Just take my word for it that it should be measuring 2 ohms. So I order up the chips, and I also order up the resistors as well. And now we're going to cut to the next part of the video when they have actually arrived.
A little while later. Is my voice annoying you yet? I hope so. Vince the Fool has spent $20 on ChatGPT and doesn't know how to use it.
Ha ha.
Right, it hasn't actually been that long, maybe a week, and all my stuff from China's arrived, my stuff from eBay UK has arrived, so I've got my 2 ohm resistors here. I've got the little relay because I damaged a leg on one of them, and I've got these specialist chips. I've already used one to put back in here, and it works absolutely fine. I've just got to unplug the other end at the moment. I'll show you everything working at the end. I also put a new 2 ohm resistor in this one here because I took the old 2 ohm resistor out and put it in the non-working board. Basically, there's been a lot of swapping about going on that you haven't seen. I just basically need to make sure that I've got 2 boards, that I end up with 2 boards that have good chips, good 2 ohm resistors and good relays, and then hopefully we'll end up with 2 working vacuum cleaners. So what I'm going to do now is get the one that was faulty, because remember I ended up breaking the working one, classic my mate Vince, and I'm hoping when I put the chip in here it may do something different now that we've got the 2 ohm resistor in there. Or is there another component which is faulty as well? So let me put in the new chip and swap out the relay. Only the relay's not faulty, it's just that I broke a leg when I was trying to unsolder it because I had a bit of a mare with it. And let's see if it starts working. I can't see how a resistor which is out of spec would cause it not to work, but who knows. Let's get those parts changed and see if it comes to life. If it does, happy days. If not, we'll have to do further fault finding. Oh, massive apologies. I know it's a very hard one to follow along to. I've done my best with the voiceovers. This has been filmed over 3 separate days, so there's a huge amount of footage. Basically, the bottom line is I had a working board and I had a faulty board, and I was swapping components in between the two boards to try to prove what the fault was. But most of that has been cut out to try to make the video slightly watchable, because I can't show you 3 days worth of footage. So anyway, that's that. I'm soldering in the chip, I'm soldering in the relay. The resistor has already been soldered in from the working board onto this faulty board here. Now let's pick up the video where the soldering's been done. Okay, so we've got a brand new chip from China. We have a brand new relay from China. They are the same markings, except that the one that was on it is labelled up as 8 amps, while this one's labelled up as 12 amps. And we've got the resistor on the other side, which was taken from the other board. So let's put it back together and see if it's going to work. Right, I'm not putting it fully back together because I can't see why it would work. I know the chip's faulty and the chip would make it work, but remember, even with the chip from the working one, it still didn't work. So that says to me that the only other component I found is a resistor. But a resistor being out of spec, I don't think would be enough to make it not work at all. But let's see. So we've changed out the resistor and the chip in this one here, and the relay purely because I broke the leg off the relay. Here we go, plugging it in now. Ready? I'll be amazed if it works. Oh my word. No way. I'm amazed. The resistor. So the chip was already changed out. This chip here is the one from the working one. But clearly I burnt out the chip by probably heating it up too many times and swapping it over. So it was the resistor that, because it wasn't reading 2 ohms, it wasn't happy with that. Unbelievable. Right, let's put that fully back together. I just had a look in the bin here. Oh my word. That's absolutely disgusting. It actually looks like there could be a cure for something in there. I can't even put that in my bin. I'm going to have to put that in another bag and put it in the bin. Right, it's all had a nice good wash down now. Filters have actually changed colour from grey to white. So once it dries, we can put it back together. Now this is the unfortunate one that got damaged in transit. What I've done is I've pushed it back from the inside into place, and you can see now it's pretty flat. I think that's going to be quite airtight, but you know what I might do? I might just run the soldering iron just on top here. I wonder, would that just seal it? It's not going to make it any stronger. If there's weight pushed down on this, it's just going to crack straight through. But that might give it a little bit of a seal. I wonder, does this one here pop out? Because then I could actually get right the way under. Yes, it does. Do I need to get under there? I suppose it doesn't really matter. It's stuck with sticky tape all the way around. I mean, what would be quite nice is if you got some clear, I see epoxy be too thick. If there was some sort of resin you can get, in fact, maybe you could add it down to the comment section down below. You know, like you get screed floor you screed a floor to take away the unevenness, and then you can also paint your like garage floor with this kind of latexy paint, and it finds its own level. There must be something that would just put a thin bit of plastic all the way over here where you could mix up, pour on, and it would just spread. So if I use epoxy glue, I think it's going to be too thick, and it would just kind of I don't know, I think it would just sort of stick here, and I don't think it would flow. You need it to be super thin to flow. That would be perfect then, because then it would give it a good seal. So if you happen to know of what would be good, could you put it down in the comment section below? I am, just for the moment, just going to melt all the way along here. As I say, this isn't to glue it together, it's just to seal the top, to stop air from coming through. I appreciate it's not going to look as nice. See, I think now that's going to have sealed it.
I reckon that sealed it. Not for strength, like I say, but to make it more more airtight. I suppose I could do the inside as well, couldn't I? You know what, if I had half a brain, I should have just done the inside, and then the outside would have just, it wouldn't have been so noticeable. Yeah, that was a boo-boo. Just in case you don't know, never breathe in plastic fumes. Make sure you're well away from it. Well, I've done both sides of it now, so hopefully that will give it some strength. Well, I've just been testing them and this one wasn't spinning very well, so I've taken this off. To begin with, this was on the wrong side. It wasn't in the slots, it was proud, so the wheels weren't spinning properly. And it was making a horrendous noise. Look at everything that came out of it. We have a WD-40 hose here. We've got some other milk bottle or something cap, the end of a pen, another bottle cap, and a curtain hook. All wedged in around here, as well as a load of hair. Oh, this just gets better and better. I'm trying to work out why there's so much resistance when I roll this one. I can't believe what a piece of junk this whole vacuum cleaner has been. Anyway, check this out. I turned it upside down because I thought, well, these are spinning and these are spinning, so they're no different between them. Yet this one has a huge amount of resistance, this one doesn't. Look, there's little rollers just here, and this one turns smoothly. This one's turned smoothly. That one is completely blocked, and that one's completely blocked and jammed as well. The whole thing is just, it needs so much cleaning. So I'm going to pop them out now, clean it, and hopefully we will have rolling without a lot of resistance. Ah, it rolls again! So we have movement.
A few weeks later.
Okay, at long last we are done. Now, this little one on its own, I've convinced myself that if I had the proper hose for it, that it would be working, because I can't see how in a natural fault-like environment you're going to get two faults. The cable got nicked, and then from that moment onwards it was faulty, so I think that would work if you had the proper hose for it. Now, let me show you both of the others working, and then we'll pick the worst one, the one where I melted up the bin there with the crack bin, the one in the middle, to do a little bit of cleaning with, and then I want to show you that plug thing I was talking about. Right, check this out. So they're both plugged in, and if you have a look here, when I turn it on, you can see it comes to life. We have the different speeds, and also we can change this bit here, which makes the brushes at the front go round faster. So I see they're whizzing around now. Yeah, but I'll show you that in a minute. Turn that one off. And this one here. It's nice that you can stand that up at the back. And here. Turn it on. And again, the thing at the bottom. So it's great that they're both working. So out of three, really we got three working. It's just there's not a lot I can do about that one at the end there, because I can't prove that one is working. Now, it's actually been a few weeks later, and these have become, well, not these, either one gets grabbed, has become the vacuum cleaner of choice, which is weird because the Dyson is so much lighter and much more manoeuvrable, but the great thing about these is they seem to be really powerful and seem to have good suction. You know, when you're cleaning the carpets, it really feels like they're cleaning the carpets. So they're not nice to use because in my opinion they're too heavy, but they do seem to be doing a good job. I think if you had something like a massive floor area like in a hotel, the Dyson would just run out too quick, the little battery one. That's where this would come into its own. But if you lived in a little house,
then I think these would be a little bit cumbersome, but they certainly are powerful, and it's lovely that you've got to empty the contents of the bin really easily. So let me do a little bit of cleaning with this more damaged one here. This was the one that was complete and utter junk, so you know if that one's working well, you clearly know that this one here is going to be working at least as well as that. So there you go, by far the most useful feature is the fact you can turn it on and off from here and also do the different power and stuff. But again, I don't know what you guys are like, but with me, if there's a max power to be had, I always do the max power because you feel like that's going to give you the best clean. Right, I'm going to show you the plug situation now that I mentioned earlier in the video. Okay, plug situation. Now, this is a moulded plug here. Lovely. You can see there's no danger of any little fingers getting shoved up here or doing anything or shoving any tools up there. Perfect. But if, like in this video, your moulded plug goes faulty, it seems a shame to throw away the whole piece of equipment because of that. Yes, you could replace the lead, but it's always much easier to just replace the plug. And they do sell plugs. Now, that is what you would buy from any normal kind of shop here in the UK if you were buying a plug. And you can see the hole there is very big because obviously it has to accommodate for cables of different sizes. And if you've got maybe a massive extension lead, that's going to fill up that hole completely, which is fantastic. But in an instance like this, where the leads are very thin, you can see that it's not filling it up at all. So I bought some plugs on eBay that says they came with sleeves. The problem is, because they're so short here and the holes are still too big, they're better than just having this, but not much better. So I've been buying up a variety of different things. I bought up these short little ones here, but they don't work because you can still get a small object up past there. I believe I found the next almost perfect solution, but not as perfect as this. This one here is the one I'm looking for. So this is from my studio lights. I didn't fit this. This was bought. Actually, let me show you the best solution to begin with. So if you have a look here, this is just brilliant. What you've got is you've got a sleeve, then you've got a big bit here that stops anything from going in the hole, and then if you have a look again, we've got a sleeve just past that again going up here, and you clamp down. This is a little cable clamp here with these two screws. You clamp down onto the sleeve. So what you see here, you've then near enough got on this side, but a little bit shorter. So you're clamping down onto this side over here. And what that does is it clamps this and it clamps the cable. That way then, when the lid goes on, you've got no way of putting anything up past here because you've got this big round bit to stop you putting anything in. And if you had something small enough to go in between here and here, it still doesn't go up past here because it's clamped on the cable. That's exactly what I've done here. You can see that this is a nice strain relief here, and I've clamped onto it. It's just that it's only giving me a small little bit. So if we go into here, I bought them from Amazon. You can see it works because it clamps onto here, but what these are more for power tools, you know, like your corded drill and stuff. This would go at the bottom, the plastic would clamp onto here, and then your cable would come out here. So you see this bit here isn't really long enough. I have managed to get it in there, and I've managed to clamp down on it nicely. You can't shove anything up here because it's clamped, and when this is on here, you can't shove anything up here because it fills up too much of the hole because we have this big, you know, gland type thing here. So this does work. It's just that it's not as nice to actually use as this one. Where on earth would I get these from here? That's what I want. Clearly they're made because
this company that make these lights, they're not going to make the plug and make these as well. So clearly they can be made, but I can't find out what they're called. I've been typing in strain relief glands, strain relief, I've been typing in rubber boots, I've typed in pretty much everything that I can think of, and it doesn't come up with these. So if you know where I can buy these, which is like a mirror image near enough on both sides, please put it down in the comment section below. A link won't be allowed because unfortunately people have spoilt YouTube, idiots have spoilt YouTube by posting porn bots and every other gambling links and all the rest of it. So basically links are not allowed, but you could write the name of the company, maybe you could write maybe what it's called, and that way then I will be able to find it and other people will be able to find it, because I can't believe it's a non-issue when on a plug like this, if you look closely in here, you can actually see this live terminal. You can see up through here the live terminal there. So although it's unlikely anything's going to happen, for me personally, I just think that that is a complete winner. And for those that say it's definitely a non-issue, why then, get the right one on, why then have they bothered fitting that? Surely then the people fitting this, that would have cost them something. Even if it's just a few pence, it still would have cost them something. If it was a non-issue, why are they fitting that there? So personally, I think it is an issue, but please let me know in the comment section below. Everybody can have an opinion. Nobody has to be rude about it. I think it's an issue. Clearly other people don't think it's an issue, but I'd like to hear other people's opinion about it. So that is it for this video here. Overall, I enjoyed it, and out of 3 vacuum cleaners, we managed to get 3 vacuum cleaners working. One's a little bit iffy. I can't say for certain the one without the hose is definitely working, but I think it is. But the other 2 are definitely working because I've been using them for the past few weeks, and my wife has as well. So yeah, nice, strong little vacuum cleaners. Are they worth the money? Not too sure. They're very expensive, and I don't really know if they're that much better than a Henry, but it is nice to have the rotating brushes at the front. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all very soon.
Vitamins and history books, psychology and a different way to look at it all. 'Cause my perspective is broken. If suffering's a way to earn your keep, I better start putting miles on my feet. But I'm so tired of wandering